Sam Putnam.
This is 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 Sam Putnam.
There's one stock that is about to break out, in my opinion. This is not financial advice, but putting $500 in this stock seems like, in my opinion, the best place to put it. The stock is DAVE, Dave. It is a fintech app. They did get investment from FTX's venture capital arm, which is bittersweet because FTX did perform exceptionally well using its venture arm. Those investments have been exceptional. However, of course, FTX is not a name you want to be associated with. So they've since repurchased that stake, and the stock itself, Dave, is doing great. So let's take a look at the chart and make sure we can find a spot that looks interesting here. Okay, here's the chart right now. You can see we're surfing this line. Okay, if you don't have this line on your chart, your Robinhood, your Webull, your Schwab, your TC2000, your TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, whatever charting software you use, interactive brokers or the like, that's okay. Okay, you can kind of see it visually anyway. But it never hurts to have some of these moving averages just to take a look and say, whoa. People are definitely looking at that moving average. And if not people, then some machines are, because look at how much it surfed that. And look at back here, how when the moving averages start to converge, when the slower one catches up, aka the stock moves sideways for a long time, it can lead to big moves to the upside, okay? Is that going to happen again right now? You know what? I think this is one of the most strong stocks that I see in the market right now. And it never hurts when you're coming up to a major whole dollar level that I like to talk about, 250. And that level is significant because here it dipped right after earnings. So that's earnings related. However, if it can hold that pivot, that's super bullish. It does have these higher lows. And if we zoom out, 20 years doesn't really make any sense because this is just from 2021, okay, where this was listed. But you can see the quarterly chart. We have a bunch of volume and people are buying the stock, okay? So this is even greater volume than it looks like, given that the price is, doubled and the volume also doubled. So really it's like the amount of money pouring in quadrupled. So this is an important level, 315, call it. And then way up here, if it gets up here, about the $500 level, 490. But if we just think about 315 and we see we're at 240, you have a pretty clear level just in the past, say, couple months to risk off of. Whether it's just in the past couple weeks, 230, and you're buying at 235, you risk $5, you make up to 50, maybe $20. But 315, that level we looked at from the left side, is way up here. It's above this level. So you have places to see how the price reacts around that level. And if it does get up there and then comes back, you can also sell some when one of these lines catches up. You don't necessarily need the lines again, but if it goes up, comes back, hits one of these and starts to go below it, that's another way to know that you want to sell. So this is super deep in the weeds. So for people who are really into watching their portfolio on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis, they are excited I just did that. But if you're more interested in, hey, I like to know what I'm buying, okay? I sympathize with that. I like to know what I'm buying too. And look, Dave did repurchase the convertible note, okay? And they got it at a discount, which was a little bit of a fortuitous situation, okay? But I guess the trade-off is that they're still a little bit associated with this initial investor, okay? But they're no longer affiliated, and now we can look up and say, what else, is going to be a problem for us? And there really isn't any overhanging supply. Okay, no one is really expected to sell. Yes, insiders do own 20% of the company and they can sell, but that so far hasn't looked like it's been happening. Okay, the stock price looks good, and they did expand their repurchase authorization. A lot of tiny companies do that and say, we're going to buy back our stock. And what you actually have to say is, well, did you or did you not? Okay. And look, they are. Okay. They'd purchased 25 million, 50 million of that expanded authorization. So that's a significant amount. They're putting their money where their mouth is. And they do have some signs that they are actually working on, being super cozy with regulators and providing new offerings, fee-free access to a bunch of ATMs through this is probably like a Plaid type platform. If you ever use Plaid to log into your bank account through some type of money transfer service. The convenience is the reason why these Dave type apps are so popular. Is the convenience is just unmatched compared to you used to have to call up your bank and wait a couple days. It takes 3 days to send a wire transfer. It's crazy. Okay, but they're making moves to partner with existing financial institutions, and also it looks like taking some steps to bank the unbanked or the underbanked, and just expanding that sort of monthly active users number that you like to see for an app. Now, these companies are not publicly traded, but if there is any news about these listing, that will affect Dave's share price. So we're going to want to keep an eye on this. You may have heard of Earnin or Chime. Moneyline's been around for a bit, but these other ones are starting to advertise, mainly social media advertisements. I haven't heard of Beam, but maybe I'm not looking in the right places for the ads. These are the publicly listed comps. Okay, PayPal, Lending Club, Upstart, SoFi. I think you could put Affirm in that category as well. And Affirm looks okay. Definitely at higher lows. Is coming up to this major level. Volume drop. It looks pretty good actually. Upstart is not one you want to buy. It's just sort of hanging above this green line, which you really want it sort of have some distance here, like Affirm has had. Okay, that's the 200-day moving average. It's sort of a well-known indicator for people who invest large amounts because it's slow moving. Everyone's looking at it, even on different time frames. And then Lending Club, just sort of grinding up. It's solid, but not quite as interesting. And then PayPal looks a lot like Upstart, so not super interesting right now. So that's why we're looking at Dave. Okay, these higher lows are really powerful. And then I didn't actually mean to zoom in there. I meant to zoom in over here. But if we really look in here, we can see we have a spot to risk off of. And, today's low actually sort of coincided with that high. Well, pretty close. So those are the kind of opportunities where if you're really, looking for a way to risk very little, which I know a lot of people who buy stocks who, want to buy stocks and not lose money, they really look for these type of opportunities where you can risk, a couple percent or whatever that is. We see this little percent sign, it's a percent or two, the distance from here to here. So, you put in $100,000, you risk a percent, you lose $1,000. So, of course, it goes up. You make, 10,000 or more, depending on how you sell. If you sell into pieces, if you trail one of these lines and sell part, and then as it comes back, you sell more, or what exactly you do based on your own risk management. But that's why we're talking about Dave. We've talked about the risk part. We've talked about the other companies. I don't think SoFi is really that correlated with Dave. Looking at the chart, SoFi just sort of grinds up. So I don't think that's necessarily that important or helpful to look at. But I do think we want to look at basically any type of news that could come up. This is an online bank, so it's, these are some of the type of thorns that upstart, a newly started and ambitious company can, like Dave, can find some friction with. So we'll see how that progresses. Hopefully everything's above the board, and hopefully we'll see that insiders are not selling too much. I mean, 3 million is significant for an individual, for sort of a small cap to medium cap company, but not significant in the sense of the amount of dollars that this company trades each day. So we can see each day it's trading, 100 million, 200 million per day. So that's Dave. If you like talking about stocks to buy, if you like buying stocks that, we pick them because we think they're going to go up, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can try it out for $25 for 7 days. See if it's worth it. There are a couple testimonials on there. And if you haven't hit that subscribe yet, button, hit that. It helps you get notified of these videos as soon as they come out. And I will see you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This is Sam Putnam.